I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
What's going on, everybody? MAGA is in complete disarray. They're coming apart at the seams as Marjorie Taylor Greene has just announced that she is planning on resigning from Congress starting on the beginning of next year. I'm going to get into her comments in just a second and give you my thoughts, but before we do, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps out tremendously. It helps grow the channel. It's completely free and it means the world to me. All right, well, let's see what she had to say. Apparently this was all over the Epstein files and their disagreement over that, but also she has a couple of things about, Trump's foreign policy. So let's take a listen and then I'm going to react.
Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
Okay. So she says that, she doesn't want to do this fight with Trump because what's going to happen is basically he's going to spend millions of dollars to fund a primary opponent to run against her because of the fact that she's not backing down on the Epstein files. And I got a couple of things to say on this. Okay, so one, this is the one thing that she's actually kind of been principled on, but let's not mistake who Marjorie Taylor Greene actually is. She's saying she wants to stand up for these women, for these victims. I recall when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade that Marjorie Taylor Greene was quite literally crying, so happy, over the moon that women's rights had been annihilated by the Supreme Court.
I think we have to worry about the radical left. They're the ones that are going to perform an insurrection here in the Supreme Court. We got to protect women. Ruth Simmons is a domestic terrorist group, and so is David. And anyone supporting abortion is supporting them. Thank you. This is the greatest.
So we're selectively, I guess we care about women. And so that's one thing I have to make that point of distinction is that, like, she cares about women, except she was really gung-ho about getting the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, and she was super happy about that. Cat, get out of here. So you got that. And then she also says the thing about, like, it's not America first, that we're doing all these foreign wars, and we're like, we're giving money to Israel and, all of this stuff. Again, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not some, like, principled opponent to the war that Trump is starting with, literally anyone, right? Whether it be, like, Yemen or Venezuela or Iran, or giving money to Israel so that they can continue to bomb people in Gaza. This is not like a principled stand, okay? And I think that it's really important to remember who this person is, because I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is more politically savvy than I gave her credit for initially. But she realizes that the Trump regime is in shambles. She realizes that there is going to be a time when Trump is no longer around. And I think people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they understand she's positioning herself for either some sort of other office maybe a run for the Senate, maybe a run for governor, maybe a run for president eventually. But she is savvy enough to understand that, like, Trump is a sinking ship. And the GOP has attached themselves to this boat anchor, this demented, bloated whale carcass. And I think she's finally caught on to that. But the funniest thing about this commentary is her going, I was such a strong supporter of Trump even before he even ran for office or whatever it was. Marge, have you not been paying attention? I mean, like, Trump literally does this to everyone. Everyone. It doesn't matter. The loyalty only goes one way. Okay? So she's like, I was a loyal supporter of his. I was a staunch foot soldier for the fascist regime up until the point where, we disagreed on should we release the Epstein files or whatever. And this is the thing. Trump has done this to people in his own cabinet, especially his first administration. Like, you look at the turnover that happened during his first term. He did this to Rex Tillerson, who was the first Secretary of State. He did this to John Bolton, who was his national security advisor. He turned on Liz Cheney, and Liz Cheney literally voted with Trump over like 90% of the time. I think it was like 93% of the time. He turned on Liz Cheney. He's done this to people in his personal inner circle. Michael Cohen, his own attorney and personal fixer. So the fact that, like, people don't understand that the second you become inconvenient to Trump or you disagree with him on literally anything, he will introduce you to the bottom side of a bus. He did this to Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk gave him $270 million or something to get him elected. And then that feud blew up. And it's like, why do the maggots not understand this? Like, why do people not get that Donald Trump quite literally does not care about anybody except for himself? And he doesn't care about loyalty insofar as he doesn't give it to you. He cares about loyalty that you give it to him and that you never question anything that he does. And again, I think that she's probably positioning herself for some sort of other run, but I want people to understand because, she's doing these, these media tours now that she's going on The View and she's going on CNN and she's saying like, yeah, I regret being in favor of political violence or whatever. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you were one of the main people, the main architects, the main insurrectionists for January 6th. And she, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but like it was way before she was even in Congress. It was a couple years before she was in Congress. She was stalking and harassing David Hogg, who at the time, Parkland High School shooting survivor, was in Washington, D.C., and she's chasing around after him, like berating him about why there should have been more guns in the school, and if there were guns in the school, then school shootings wouldn't have happened. Like, this woman is batshit nuts, okay? And nothing that you can say is going to change the fact of what her record has been up until this point. Like, people are saying like, oh, she's becoming a Democrat or whatever. It's like, no, she's not. She's still crazy. She just understands that, like, the brand of crazy that Trump represents is no longer politically viable. So she'll still believe in all of the dumb shit that she does, but she wants to distinguish herself from Trump and from MAGA for whatever is the future. Best case scenario, I think, she continues to do podcasts with psychopaths like Steve Bannon. But I do think that, whatever happens, like, she's not going to go away, right? She's just not going to go quietly into the night. She's made all the money in the world. She could, she's one of the most infamous people now for, like, trading stocks on insider information. But grifters are going to grift. And she will find a new lane. And this is not the end of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I think that it's important to remember, like I said, do not sane wash this woman just because a broken clock is right twice a day. She's right on wanting to release the Epstein files. Let's not forget that she celebrated when Roe v. Wade was overturned. She's right on we shouldn't be funding foreign wars and all of this other garbage. It's not because she has some principled stance against violence. She quite literally was cheering on the insurrectionists and how, Trump didn't lose. I don't think that she cares about Palestinians. I don't think that she cares about innocent Venezuelan fishermen getting bombed. I don't think that she cares about literally any of that. She's just trying to say the right things at this moment. Anyway, let me know what you think. I am here for it. I love it. I love watching MAGA just destroy themselves over the Epstein files. And we got to keep talking about it because it's not going to go away. And I just hope, I literally hope that more Republicans, for the sake of them just, being careerists and understanding that they have attached themselves to a demented fascist freak who can't even put on his makeup properly. I hope that they all follow suit eventually so that this administration falls apart more quickly. Anyway, like and subscribe if you made it this far. Please, it will help out massively. I get the video out to more people, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.